The unconfirmed information floating around behind the scenes suggests that Ross and Jens are about to receive the one piece of news they have been dreading more than anything else in the world. Anna is officially on her way back to Port Charles. According to the speculation, the very second this intelligence reaches their ears, both men are going to be thrown into an absolute state of red alert. This isn't just a minor inconvenience for them. This is a catastrophic threat to their entire operation. If you ask me, the sheer level of panic we are about to witness from these two seasoned operatives is going to be unprecedented. They know exactly what is at stake, and the fear is palpable. To fully grasp the magnitude of this leak, we have to look back at what Anna has been enduring. She has been locked away in that mental health facility in France, subjected to intense psychological manipulation orchestrated directly by Ross. She was forced to deal with the fake theatrics of Caesar, a ghost from her past designed to keep her off balance and questioning her own sanity. Ross thought he had neutralized the greatest threat to his double agent empire. He believed that by keeping Anna sedated and confused, he could freely operate his shadow agendas, including the manipulation of Valentine's cold fusion prototype. But Anna is not someone you can keep in a cage forever. The rumor is that she has finally seen through the illusions, passed her doctor's evaluations, and is preparing to break out of that psychological prison. You have to understand why her impending release is such a monumental deal. Ross and Jens have spent months burying their darkest secrets beneath layers of deception, utilizing double agents and manipulating everyone from Valentine to Carly. They understand perfectly well that if Anna truly returns with a clear mind, the entire house of cards comes crashing down. Every single secret they have buried will be dragged out into the light like a curtain being violently torn away. They cannot afford for her to start asking questions. They cannot afford her legendary investigative skills. And above all, they cannot afford the legitimate factions of the WSB taking her side once she exposes Ross's treason. Now, everyone assumes that Anna's return is going to be a relatively straightforward affair. Most viewers believe that because Willow helped resolve her legal troubles back home, Anna will simply have a final, albeit tense, meeting with her doctor, get her discharge papers, and hop on a comfortable, first-class flight back to upstate New York. The obvious explanation seems to be that Ross is too distracted by his pursuit of Valentine and his standoff with Carly at her house to realize what is happening across the Atlantic. People think Anna is just going to walk through the front doors of the police department, reunite with her loved ones, and announce her triumphant return while the villains are looking the other way. But what if we're looking at this the wrong way? What if that wasn't the real reason for the sudden shift in the storyline? What if someone planned this from the very beginning? There is a hidden agenda here, and the insider buzz points directly to Jens. Jens is reportedly the one who is the most terrified of Anna's return. While Ross might try to use bureaucratic red tape to keep her locked up in the facility, Jens is far more pragmatic and far more lethal. The speculation is that Jens will do absolutely everything in his power to stop Anna before she even has a chance to set foot on American soil. He isn't going to wait for a legal battle in a courtroom. He is going to set a deadly trap right outside the doors of that French clinic. Jens's paranoia is legendary. We already know he has been setting revenge traps for Sonny, Laura, and Lucas. But Anna is a completely different beast. She is a former WSB director, a master spy, and someone who knows how to dismantle criminal empires from the inside out. Jens knows that if Anna gets her hands on the intelligence regarding his partnership with Ross, his life as a free man is over. Therefore, the unconfirmed information suggests that Jens will deploy his absolute best mercenaries to France. The objective won't be to capture Anna. The objective will be to silence her permanently before she can ever reach an airport. However, the narrative takes a massive unexpected turn right here. Despite Jens's most ruthless efforts and his heavily armed kill squads, it appears that Anna will successfully make it back to Port Charles. And this is where the situation escalates at a terrifying speed. The big question that is burning through the rumor mill is this: how on earth does she escape Jens's lethal dragnet? Jens does not miss. For Anna to slip through his fingers, especially when she is just coming off a grueling stint in a mental health facility, she couldn't have done it alone. This sparks the massive speculation that Anna must have received help from someone who was quietly standing in her corner, someone capable of going toe-to-toe with an army of trained killers. If you ask me, whenever someone stages a miraculous rescue in this universe, there is always a devastating price to be paid. The behind-the-scenes possibility is that this rescue mission is going to be an absolute bloodbath. If someone steps up to save Anna from a hit squad orchestrated by Jens, the cost is going to be incredibly high. We are hearing whispers that someone is going to be severely injured or worse in the process of ensuring Anna's safe passage. This isn't going to be a clean, stealthy extraction in the dead of night. It is going to be a brutal, violent confrontation that will leave permanent scars on the canvas of Port Charles. So, who is the mysterious savior? We have to look at multiple scenarios because the writers have laid down several distinct paths. That's one possibility, Valentine. We know Valentine took a detour on his way to Geneva specifically to sneak into Anna's facility in France. He has the motive, the skills, and the deep, enduring love for Anna to risk everything. What if Valentine intercepts Jens's men, taking the brunt of the attack so Anna can escape? It would be the ultimate redemption arc for him, proving to Anna that his feelings were always genuine, even if it means he gets captured, severely wounded, and sent to a maximum security prison or ends up fighting for his life in a European hospital. But another theory is Jack. Jack is currently recovering at his medical facility, but he still has massive pull within the WSB and a deep-seated hatred for Ross. What if Jack realizes that Ross and Jens are moving against Anna, and he uses his remaining loyalists to orchestrate a shadow operation? In this scenario, Jack pulls the strings from his hospital bed, sending a highly trained WSB splinter cell to extract Anna just as Jens's trap springs. It would solidify Jack as a powerful, albeit morally ambiguous, ally to the canvas, but it might also expose him to Ross's direct wrath, putting Carly and Jocelyn in even more danger if Ross traces the rescue back to him. And then there is the third possibility, the one that is currently dominating the insider buzz and setting the internet on fire. What if the person who saves Anna is none other than Jason? Jason has always been the ultimate enforcer, the guardian angel who steps out of the shadows when the stakes are life and death. The rumor is that Jason catches wind of Jens's trap, perhaps through his connections with Sonny, his own independent intelligence network, or a desperate plea from someone in Port Charles, and decides to go completely off the grid. He flies to France, intercepts Jens's strike team, and personally escorts Anna out of the kill zone. It perfectly aligns with Jason's character to take on a suicide mission to protect someone who is vital to the safety of his friends and family. Jason and Anna have a long, complicated history of mutual respect. They have operated on opposite sides of the law, but when the chips are down, they recognize each other as soldiers. If Jason knows that Anna is the only one who can dismantle the threat that Ross and Jens pose to Sonny, Carly, and the rest of Port Charles, he wouldn't hesitate for a single second to put himself in the line of fire. He would walk straight into Jens's trap with his eyes wide open. I keep wondering whether the writers are setting us up for the biggest heartbreak of the decade. Because if Jason is indeed the one who saves Anna, we have to talk about the most dangerous possibility. This isn't just about Jason taking a bullet in the shoulder and ending up in the hospital for a few weeks of recovery. The speculation we are hearing is far more permanent, far more terrifying, and completely game-changing for the entire franchise. What if Jason doesn't survive this encounter? The boldest, most haunting theory right now is that Jason will only appear for a few brief, explosive episodes. He will arrive just in time to shatter Jens's trap, fighting with everything he has to ensure Anna gets on that plane safely. But in the ensuing chaos, Jens, who is desperate, cornered, and entirely ruthless, might actually manage to land a fatal blow. Imagine the shockwave. Jason, the invincible enforcer, finally brought down not by a mob rival in Port Charles, but by an international mercenary in a muddy shootout in France, sacrificing himself so that Anna can live to expose the truth. This theory is gaining massive traction because it ties into a very concerning behind-the-scenes possibility. there is a growing rumor that the actor portraying Jason might be legitimately exiting the show for good. If this is true, the writers wouldn't just send him out of town on a vague business trip. They would give him a hero's exit that fundamentally alters the landscape of the show. Turning Anna's triumphant return into the catalyst for Jason's permanent demise would be a masterstroke of dramatic tragedy. It would ensure that Anna's fight against Ross and Jens becomes deeply personal, fueled by the guilt and grief of knowing that Jason traded his life for hers. If this nightmare scenario plays out, the return of Anna won't be a joyous celebration. It will be the beginning of a massive, destructive storm. Sonny would lose his mind, unleashing a war unlike anything Port Charles has ever seen in its history. Carly would be utterly devastated, potentially making reckless, grief-stricken moves that put her right into Ross's crosshairs. And Jens would instantly become the most hated, most targeted man on the planet, hunted by every single faction in the city. The ripple effects of Jason falling to Jens's trap would touch every single character on the canvas, turning a spy thriller storyline into a deeply emotional saga of revenge, mourning, and absolute chaos. But again, none of this is set in stone. There may be more going on here than we can possibly see right now. Is Jason really going to fall? Or is this just another elaborate misdirection to keep us on the edge of our seats? Will Jens's trap claim a different victim? Or will Anna find a way to outsmart them all without anyone shedding a single drop of blood? I keep wondering whether we are only seeing the tip of the iceberg. If you ask me, something about this feels hidden, like the writers are holding back one final massive twist that no one has predicted yet. We will just have to watch and see how the dominoes fall, because when Anna finally steps off that plane, nothing in Port Charles will ever be the same again.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.